Our Voice, Our Opinion is brought to you by Grand Diva Studios, owned and operated by Jamaica Kitchens, specializing in natural and healthy hair care.
And we're back. Welcome to Our Voice, Our Opinion. And today we are talking about Michael Brown and Ferguson. There's a lot of stuff still going on. We know the officer still hasn't been convicted of anything.
Has he even been taken into custody or?
No.
He hasn't been indicted.
I'd say that the United States has the slowest judicial system ever.
It's all in the effort to be fair, right?
Depending on the case.
It's depending on who you talking about being
Depending
fair
on
with.
the case.
Because if it was the other way around,
Okay, yeah.
it would have been a speedy trial. Let's be real.
And the fact that police officers, the fact that he's a police officer.
Speak on it.
I mean, how many times have we seen this situation where there's outcry, there's a public outcry from an action taken by the police officer, but yet nothing to be done?
Right.
Let's talk about the incident in New York City. I can't think of the guy's name, can't think of the guy that passed, but do you remember that there was 4 officers surrounding him and they were trying to arrest him because they said he was selling cigarettes illegally. Well, he kept saying, don't touch me, I haven't done anything. There was 4 of them all the way around him, and then the guy that behind him came up from behind him and put him in a chokehold.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember.
Everything you've read says the chokehold is illegal. So they put him in a chokehold, he dies after saying, I can't breathe. But yet, where's the indictment at? It's an illegal
Hold.
illegal hold.
But
I'm not sure why there's any question of why is there no charge, no anything.
we can go back to Rodney King on this with video. They had everything except for sound. You know what I'm saying? We can go all the way back to it's totally unfair.
I digress.
Yeah.
Well, there's so many different ways to go with this. You know, when we were talking earlier. Well, the story that brought this back up for us is that now the policeman's story is out, and he says that he was attacked in the car by Michael Brown, and there's blood now from the police officer in his car and on his uniform saying, why are you looking like that?
Blood from Michael Brown in the police officer's car.
And blood from the police officer as well, showing that there's
So it takes 2 months for him to get his story out.
Now that's the question I had.
What?
That's the question I had, because now you had time to craft your
So
story.
if Mike Brown's story says, oh, he did this and he did that, it's like, okay. And he goes home and he says, well, I was doing this, and then I would, I mean,
Right.
it's
And here's the other problem with all of a sudden the news outlets have making these big outcries now because information that should be readily available to them, the city hall is now charging like $2,000, literally $2,000 to get papers that can be free, and at the most $20 and $30 on a regular basis.
Well, and you're talking about Ferguson.
These are Ferguson for reports and different things that should be readily available. Several news outlets have said they're charging like $2,000 for this, and they paid it so that they can get the stuff.
So they've got all kind of stuff going, all kind of questionable actions going over there.
So how do we fix that? Go. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Need to address it, front and center. I mean, the police officers. So the people of Ferguson, as well as people from outside of Missouri, came in and were demonstrating.
And they still are.
Well, and they still are. You're correct. But the police officers were wearing a "I support Darren Wilson" pin. I'm not sure how that helps the situation.
It doesn't help the situation. It does not help the situation. Go ahead.
I'm acting like Whoopi Goldberg and sit back and not say nothing. And sit back and not say. But no, you were saying we know where we're
got
going.
to make some
You're saying
changes.
and we're gonna go into
The fact,
voting
yeah.
and who to vote for. And the question comes up, who do you vote for? You have crooked man congressman over here, you have crooked man congressman over here. The commercials you see, they're throwing jabs at each other, and then you say, well, who do you vote for? It's like, I don't know. I don't know these guys. I don't know these people.
Well, I agree with you that
I don't know where
some
they stand.
politicians their actions and their motives are questionable, but you can't go into the process with that negative mindset.
Right, you can't.
You've got to say, okay, let me do my research, and that's one big
right.
question mark
Research.
that needs to be done. And I'm not throwing shade on anybody. I'm pointing at myself and saying to everybody else,
Okay.
we need to do our research because we just don't know enough about these political candidates to really make sound decisions. You know,
Right.
most of the time it's either, let me just find that D on the Democrat.
Okay, right.
I'm not
but then
voting
with
for
the judges, you don't have that. You don't
Right.
have that. You know.
Right.
We have here in Louisville, we have about 9 judges that are going up for to be, candidates for judge, and you don't know which one to choose. So do we just choose the black one, or do we just circle all Democrats and just check off the one that we the name we heard the most
Go do something.
during the campaign?
I think, and that really. So,
And you're right.
So
But
from
you-
there, that really says you got to do your research.
You got to do your research.
Okay.
I was, and I was
research
thinking about
them
that
how?
as we were thinking about this. I was thinking about this story and thinking about those judges and thinking about who their district attorney is and these people that we're putting into office and stuff. I went around, and of course, November 4th is coming up, and so we're getting ready to go into this new election. And the problem is, half of us don't go and vote in this election. There's no president, so we don't worry about it anyway, which is why half of, the problems that President Obama is having is because he's fighting against, nobody went to help him out, in the House or in Congress during these, but that's a different story. So here we go. I'm riding by and I see all these people, like, I don't know who any of these people are at all. So I consciously said, okay, you know what? I see this name. True. It was a judge. She was a black lady. It was family court. I was like, okay, these are things that are important to me. Okay, let me go check her out to see something. So if I am voting for her, at least I feel like I made some type of an informed decision. The first step, though, is actually going out, even if you don't know who it is, and if you are a Democrat or if you are a Republican and you just go, where's that R, where's that D? Even if you just do that, at least you're doing your part. You feel like, I know the ideals of this particular party, so I go along with those.
So you're saying it takes, for those who aren't or haven't historically participated in the voting process, you're saying take small steps. Take baby
small steps, basic steps. Pick something and go and do it. And how does that affect this?
Research is important. So
Research is important.
So you're saying go to that particular candidate's website and look up their pros and cons and their values of what they believe.
How they've done stuff on. We even have there's a Kentucky Supreme Court person that's up. There's a contestant between a couple of judges. There is. I looked, I did some research, I realized, Supreme Court, they're making like really big decisions. But the way I want to tie this back to Michael Brown.
So would his case been any different if there was a Democratic
I think if you had
police chief or a black police chief white was there, would this case be any different?
Well, I don't know. I think that if that judge or that district attorney or that congressman or whatever knew that he was going to be voted out because all those people who showed up to protest were going to show up to vote, he'd have been doing a little bit more.
Very good point. Very good point.
That's my whole thing. If they knew, okay, look, these folks upset, and all of them are going to show up to vote.
So that there's power in the voting process.
There's power in the voting process. The congressman or somebody have been like, hey, y'all need to get on this.
So we
Because
should.
I like my job and I want to go back to Washington so I can do nothing all
Well,
year.
I don't know about
for the next 4
Ferguson. I
years
don't
or
know about
whatever and
Ferguson.
get paid.
I don't know about if that will work in Ferguson. I'm just like that.
I'm talking about on a whole
No,
different
I'm
scale.
just-
I'm talking about not Ferguson is a part of
because they are predominantly
black.
But listen to my point. They have the national spotlight on them right now, and they still not moving.
Because
You talking about
there's
President
no
Obama?
consequence.
You talking about President
If
Obama?
there's no
Exactly.
consequence, I do what I want to do.
exactly, and that's
But they still gonna.
and that's probably one of the underlying, if not
Right.
the main underlying factors in this whole situation is that they've never been held accountable.
At all.
The fact
I
that
said
they're on the
hit 'em where it
news.
hurts in the pockets. That's
What it, when you hear a
makes
congressman
everybody-
say, you know what, you
Everybody
keep
move.
sitting there, don't do nothing about these cases. You see all this kind of stuff. I'm gonna hit you in your pocket because you're not gonna have a job next year. Period. Somebody's gonna do something. That's where you hit them in your pocket. This judge, you know what? I think this person needs to run because I don't like the way you act. I'm gonna get my school, my alumni, my church, and we're gonna go vote and vote your butt out.
Yep.
And put in who?
Somebody
better.
else. somebody who will know.
We can't.
No. But somebody who will know.
But
You
we-
mess with us again, you'll be without a job too.
Yep.
And on that note,
Yeah, because I was about to go in some more. Come on that
and
note.
on that note, if you want to join this conversation, you know what, Ike, if you got something else to say, why don't you take it to our Facebook page, our YouTube page, put it out there and
I
let
got a lot to say.
the
Why
audience.
don't y'all spar after the camera goes off?
So you can go home and hit the record button.
No, but make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel
Yes.
so you can get these segments directly. So,
All
and
right.
we'll be right back.
Our Voice, Our Opinion is brought to you by Grand Diva Studios, owned and operated by Jamaica Kitchens, specializing in natural and healthy hair care.